We're going to see how to use a VLOOKUP, which is short for vertical lookup. And what that means is the vertical part, we're just going from top to bottom or bottom to top. There's also an H lookup, which would then mean you're going horizontal or side to side. VLOOKUP allows us to type in a value or associate some value to values in a table. So for this example, this is our table, or our table of values. Our entire tables actually would be this. We have some header columns. But this is our lookup table. So somewhere we're going to have a value or a set of values, and then we want those values to look up something in this table and display the value from this table when there's a match. So in this example, we're going to look up the numeric grade. So right here, we're going to have a value. So this is our lookup value. So we're just using one value. We could have a column here that would look up, but we're just going to go with this one value for now. And here is where we're going to output the grade. So this is where our VLOOKUP formula is going to go. And you could start typing out the formula equals VLOOKUP, but we're going to go to formulas. And we're going to go to lookup and reference, and then to VLOOKUP. Our lookup value is going to be our input column. This is going to be where we're typing. Then, of course, our table array is just the table of values, not the header columns. The column index is which column is containing the values that we're pulling out. So this is going to be B, which is column 2 in our table. So we have column 1, column 2, and column 3. So we're going to say column 2. We'll click OK. And now it starts pulling values out of the table. So I type in 80, we get a different value. But you can see there's some kind of issue with what we're doing here. So if I take our values, I resort them, go to Home, and then I'll go from smallest to largest. Yes, extend selection, so it will extend to all 3 columns, sort. Now our data looks good. So we have 60 is a D, we have 90 is an A, and 80 is a B. Now what if we want to output our pass-fail marks? That's very easy to do. We'll just go to our formula, we'll double click into our formula. We'll change column 2 to column 3. So 80 is a pass, and then 60 is a fail. And then we have 70, which is a pass. But what if we change this to a fail? So you can see there automatically that's going to change to a fail. And then we can have intermediate numbers. So 75 is still going to fail. It's not going to change until we get up to 80. So we can go 79, that's still it. Then if we do 81, we'll pass. Now, let's say we want to restrict this right here to only values that are appearing in our table. So there's an easy way to do that. We can add a drop down that people can select from. Before we do that, I'd like to name the range of cells that we're going to use in our drop down box. So I'm going to highlight these. I'm going to do in the name box here in grade. I'll click enter, and now this range has a name. So each cell has its individual name, but when I highlight, I get this name here. Just a side note, if you want to ever remove a named range, you can go to formulas and then go to the name manager, and you'll see your named range in here, and you can just delete it out. Now we're going to highlight the cell we want to put our drop down on, and we'll go to data, and then we'll go to data validation and click data validation again. We're going to choose a list, and then we're going to say equals, and we're going to use our range that we've created. And what is our range? Well, we can do the F3 key function 3, and that will show the range. We'll select that, click OK, and then we'll click OK again. And now you can see we've got this drop down, and we can only select these values. So if you can see our arrow here is kind of hiding our text, and that's only going to appear when you're actually clicked into that cell. But I'm going to go ahead and center these. So go to the Home tab and center. And now when I click, go to 90, get a pass, of course. Go to 80, we get a pass. And 60, we don't. So that's one value. Let's say we have several values and we want to look up against all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and add some values over here, and I'll just do a mixture of values so we can see. And right here is where we want to output the pass or fail scenario. So I'm going to go back again to our formulas. I'll go to Vlookup. And the lookup value is this. And in the table array, of course, is this one. And I'm going to lock these, so I'm going to do the F4 function 4. That locks the table. And then I'm going to do the third column again. We're going to do the pass-fail column. And I'll click OK. Now I just need to drag these down, so I'll click in the bottom right here and double click. And that fills everything in, and you can see we've applied our VLOOKUP to all the values over here. And that's how you get multiple values out of it. So that's just a quick look at the VLOOKUP or the vertical lookup. Really good for when you want to take some value and find a corresponding value in a table, or a lookup table as they're called.